I am honored to be here today. On behalf of my family and I, we thank the organizers for honoring his life and legacy during this Labor Week. I stand proud to pay tribute today as the granddaughter of a Bahamian hero. British Prime Minister Winston Churchill once said, "A man does what he must in spite of personal consequences, in spite of obstacles, dangers, and pressures, and that is the basis of all human morality." Ladies and gentlemen, this quote encapsulates the life of my grandfather. Granddaddy taught me to always forgive, to always show kindness and love to everyone, especially those who may be enemies. My grandfather was a formidable human being who taught me about the struggles and sacrifices made by great men and women of the Bahamas. Today, I thank them publicly for their service, and I humbly acknowledge that I am the manifestation of their dreams, the product of their labor, and I proudly stand on their shoulders. While the country reads about the life of my grandfather through history books, I heard the stories of the many struggles from his lips. It was through these lessons he reminded me how precious it was to be a Bahamian. He taught me that the freedoms and privileges that we so often take for granted were not free. There was a cost, and I will forever be indebted to my grandfather for paving the way for me and for all Bahamians. As a country, we need to do a better job at educating current and future generations of Bahamians about the men and women who made this Bahamas possible. We need to tell our children that yes, it is possible to be like Joseph from the Bible and rise from the pit to the palace. And yes, it is possible to be a young black barefoot boy from Acklands and not only rise to become the Governor General of a country, but to become a catalyst and change the landscape of a country's history. Young people in this country, wherever you are today, hear me. Young men and women from Bain and Grantstown to Garden Hills, Carmichael, Rock Crusher, Fox Hill, Cable Beach, San Souci, Winton, Elizabeth Estates, wherever you are, hear me when I say that this is your time. Cultivate your gifts and talents, become qualified in what you desire to do, and ask yourselves, what can I do to build my country? Young people, this is the question my grandfather asked himself as a young man, and he decided to move boldly into his purpose, not knowing that he would make history. I also want to speak to my young Bahamian women. You have the ability to do anything that God has designed you to do, from being the CEO of a great company, to flying the world's largest aircraft, to pastoring a church of thousands of people, to becoming a world-renowned physician who has found the cure for cancers of all kinds, or even becoming Prime Minister of this great Bahamas. Places like Sri Lanka, India, Portugal, Yugoslavia, France, Canada, and others have had female prime ministers several times over. In the words of Britain's first female Prime Minister, Margaret Thatcher, any woman who understands the problems of running a home will be nearer to understanding the problems of running a country. My grandfather believed in the power and influence of a woman in her community and in her country. It is in this spirit I admonish women to go forth in your areas of influence and become a force of positive change in our country. In conclusion, my grandfather died knowing that there is much work to be done in this country to build this country and to empower Bahamians throughout this archipelago. We all have a part to play. I pray that with God's protection and guidance, that his legacy will forever live on in my heart and through my life. May God bless you all, and may God continue to make our Bahamas a prosperous, safe, and a progressive nation. I thank you all.
Thank you, Syann.